This video is not for the faint of heart. So if you're one of them who thinks that when this COVID virus is over, then we'll go back to normal and everything will be fine, then you do not want to watch this video. Welcome back. And yes, this is not a video that is for the faint of heart. In this video, I will explore how I see the new normal. At the time of this recording, there are signs that the pandemic is starting to slow down, So in my understanding, we are seeing, and to quote Winston Churchill, we are seeing the end of the beginning. The end of the beginning. Because once the pandemic is over, we are faced with a completely new truth. We've had a world at lockdown for months. We have an economy standing still. We have businesses going bankrupt. There are so many tragic things happened over the last couple of months that there is no chance that we'll go back to what it was before the outbreak happened in China. So please stay with me. I want to explore with you, how is our future going to look? It should be clear that now the supply of everything is far outstripping the demand. And that also goes with the supply of people. So there's going to be a grim fight for the jobs in the future, which is why I made this video. I want you to think about how is the future going to look like, and I want you to think about how are you going to cope with that? How are you going to compete in the future, either as a business or as a person? This is what we have to explore. This is what we have to understand. Try to take one step back and reflect over what has happened. We're working from home. We're working in isolation. What does that mean? Well, it means that a whole humankind, so to speak, is now getting used to virtual meetings. Is now getting used to everything has to be solved digitally, because you cannot go and meet, you cannot sign papers, you cannot do anything physically anymore. Unless you're in the grocery business or in the hospital business, of course. But most other businesses are affected in a way that we're working from home and we have to deal with digital processes. Do you think that's going to go back to paper once this is over? We are facing a situation where all companies, they are low on cash flow, low on customer demands, low on everything. I don't think that these companies, that we will go back to the more cumbersome, the slower processes once this pandemic is over. Digital is the new normal. Just think about it. Now we're used to having business meetings all over the world virtually. What do you think that's going to do for the airlines, for business travel? Don't you think now that we've realized we can actually easily meet virtually? Do we really have to leave our families and friends to go business travel? I don't think so. Think about the implications for the airline industry for this. Think about conferences. I'm personally participating in many virtual conferences now as a speaker. This is so much more convenient for everybody. You can watch it when you want, you can replay it, you can fast forward against too boring. Do you think the number of conferences in the future will be as big as it's been now before? I don't think so. I think it will be virtual. We will find new ways of meeting and networking. I don't think we're going to spend days and days and days in conferences when we're now used to taking in everything virtually, digitally. I like to say that forced by the absence of presence, we've gone digital. A whole human race, almost a complete world. It's scary and it's fantastic. There are so many opportunities in this. And this is what we have to look at. I think when the pandemic is over, when the companies are starting to resemble themselves in the new normal, I think that, and hold on to this, 2/3 of all people working for companies in the future will be external contractors or consultants. I think the companies, they will keep 1/3 as the core, as the permanent staff. And this permanent staff will be tasked to find the right external contractors or consultants to expand the business. I don't think the companies, they will start hiring permanent staff for a long time in the fear of an outbreak may come again, or the global recession may really, really be bad. So you won't see companies hiring again in any time soon, not permanent staff. I think 2/3 of all staff in the new normal will be working in the gig economy or as external contractors. That has huge implications for all of us. Theoretically, that means that 2/3 of all of you watching this video with me right now will have to work as external contractors or consultants. How will that affect your lives? You have to think about this. This is your future we're talking about. You have to look at, are you ready to do this? I don't think that you can just lean back and say it's not going to hit me. I think it can hit all of us. And I think it's our responsibility to prepare ourselves for it. To prepare ourselves for this future where I believe very few of us will be permanently employed with anybody. For the companies, it's the same way around. I think the companies need to find ways of organizing themselves so they can have running operations with a minimum of staff fixed. Because this is such a high fixed cost that they have to bear if something happens again, if there is coming another outbreak. This is my new normal. This is what I think is going to happen. I don't think it's all bad though. I think it gives us a unique chance to reskill ourselves, to relook at our own competences, to relook at what are we good at, what do we need to be better at. I think you should consider the industry that you're in, the business you're working in, and you should think about, okay, if just half of what I'm saying here is going to happen, how will your industry look like tomorrow? How will what you're good at change? And how will you fit into this? You have to figure out, do you have the competences? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the skills to enter such a new world where most companies will work with outsourced people? Because you can believe me, there's going to be a huge fight on these outsourced jobs as well. Only the best will get the jobs. There will be too many people for each job here. So you have to think about that. I would suggest you start thinking now. I would suggest that you start looking at your skills, looking at the industry you're in, looking at the competences that you think that the future will require, and then go online and start learning, start reskilling yourself. Start preparing yourself for the new normal. Start making sure that you will be in pole position when the reality hits and the new normal takes over after the pandemic. When the pandemic is over, the whole world will have a sigh of relief, and then the real new world will start. With recession, unemployment, a lot of financial issues all over the world. We all have families, we all have obligations to take care of. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we are in pole position to get the best possible out of the new normal. Thank you for keeping up with me for this long. I'm happy to hear your comments on this video. I know it's a bit hard. I also feel that I have to say it because this is how it's going to be. You cannot hide from it. You must act and accept that this is how the world is going to look in the future. All you can do is do the very best for yourself to be in pole position in the new normal. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and good luck.